Hey you guys, welcome back to Libro review. I hope you're doing very nice and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be wrapping up the month of December and I'm going to share my TBR of January. There are already 2 videos of December of unboxing on my channel. I will link them below, you can check them out. So the haul is not there in this video. But apart from that, I am finally going to say tata bye bye to 2020 after wrapping up this video. You can skip ahead to the wrap up and the TBR, but there is something that I want to say before we start. Time to be completely honest, I have been having trouble reading recently. I do not know what the reason is, because if I knew what the reason is, then I would do something about it. I cannot call it a reading slump. It's not like I'm not inspired to read something, but it may be because of my environment right now in my room, or it may be because of all the chaos that has been going on, or it may be because of a lot of work that I have to do, because of which by the time it is the time for me to read, I am not able to read. So I am able to read a little in the morning because I'm completely fresh, and as I said, I am very inspired to read right now. But in the night time is when I do most of my reading, and nowadays I have not been able to do it because I am so tired. The second reason why I think I am not able to read is because I am so bombarded with such good books in my shelf right now. Trust me, I did not know that this will be a problem, but seeing so many books that I can read, I am getting so confused as to which book to pick right now and start reading. And when I am reading one book, I am constantly thinking about the other book that I want to read, which is there in my shelf. So when I'm reading, I'm not able to focus on the story or on the content I'm reading right now. All my focus is on what I want to read next. These are some problems that I've been facing lately, and I think that you guys must also be going through this. And if you are, I just want to let you know that I am going to come up with a dedicated video that will help you to stick with reading, because that is the problem here. I love reading, I have the books to read, that is not the issue. The issue is I am not able to focus. So I am going to come up with a video where I am going to tell you a few tips and tricks that I have written down that are helping me to get over my own problems, that will help you to stick with reading. But before that, I just want to say that if you're facing the same issue, all I can suggest is that you, no matter what, do attain or sustain the habit of reading, which is at least read for 15 to 30 minutes every day. You may not be on a spree of reading right now, you may not be reading multiple books a month maybe, but if you just leave reading because you're not able to read at all, that will create a bigger problem for you, because getting back to reading will become very difficult. Starting with the December wrap up. In December, I read 6 books. Oh my god, I have read books that are literally mind-blowing, and I'm so happy I read them. So let me share them with you. The first book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Now this is the book that I thought I will read in 2021 in January, but it was just lying down over there, and I kept looking at it. I was like, okay fine, I can't stop myself anymore. So I was like, okay, I am going to read it. I picked it up, I read it, and wow, it is so not what I thought it would be. This book, however, has a lot of real life experiences of a lot of rich and poor people, and what we can learn from those experiences, which will help us to understand the kind of psychology we need to have when it comes to earning money. Again, it is not about the mindset. I hope I'm able to explain it rightly. But it's not about the money mindset or growth mindset. It is about the things, the truth behind earning a lot of money, staying wealthy, how you can keep the money you earn, how you can be rich, and what are the certain factors that make you poor. Best part is that this book is very honest. For example, it talks about how a lot of times luck plays such a big role when it comes to earning a lot of money. A lot of rich people are rich, of course, because of their hard work and everything, but luck has played a big role. On the other hand, for example, the success of Warren Buffett, we always see it, we always try to learn it from him, but what we don't see is the amount of time that man has invested in building the empire that he has built today. And with the help of this book, or with the help of that chapter, I was able to understand that time plays such a big role if you want to have a lot of money. The earlier you start to make money, the earlier you start to save, invest, all those kind of things, the richer you become. So not only about earning more, time also plays a big role. So these are just 2 lessons that I have shared, but there is a lot more in this book. Such a helpful book. I am so thankful to Jaco to actually send it to me as a review copy. Also beginner friendly, very beginner friendly, very easy language, mostly stories. So I love this book. If you want to learn the psychology of money, go ahead. Next up we have The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. Honestly speaking, I have not finished the book yet. I am still reading it. What I would suggest you also is that if you are reading this book, don't read it with other books. Like I usually read multiple books, which helps me to read more. I'm usually reading one fiction book and one non-fiction book at the same time, but this is a book that you need to give your complete attention to. I read a lot of this book and then I just kept it and I started reading some other book, maybe Psychology of Money or something, and I was so intrigued by it that I kept reading it and I completely forgot about this book. It had just been a few days. Still, when I got back to it, I did not remember the plot and everything that is going on very nicely, and there are so many relations that you have to take care of in this book. It is very, very complicated. So definitely I won't recommend it to a beginner, and if you are an avid reader and you do want to read it, make sure that you're giving your complete attention and your complete time to it, and it will take you time to finish it. So I am still reading it. I will give my final verdict probably in February, but yeah. Next we have Reinvent Yourself by Elizabeth Otis, and I have recommended this book in another video where I'm recommending 15 books for self-love. I will link that in the description also. I finished reading that book and I was like, oh wow, and that is when I decided that I am going to make a vision board for myself in 2021. That video also is going to go live very soon. I learned so much about the laws of the universe and how we can use them on a day-to-day basis that will help us to achieve a higher level of ourselves, a better version of ourselves. It is so beginner friendly. That is my favorite part. The language is very simple, the structure is very simple, yet it is so practical. It blew my mind, which is why I actually have a lot of courage right now to be ready to make a change in myself and reinvent myself even more this year. If you have not watched the 10k special video, go watch it and you will know what I'm talking about. So yes, if you want to learn the laws of the universe but with a very scientific approach on a very day-to-day basis on all those kind of things, then this is an amazing book. It is beginner friendly, it is awesome. Go buy it. Next up we have A Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. I have been keeping this book down since so long, but I finally read it. My verdict is that it is a very slow book, very slow book. That is the only issue I had with this book. Again, I would not recommend it to complete beginners. It cannot be within your first 10 books or something. After that, yes, you can read it if you like dark or thriller books, only then. Otherwise, you will not have the patience to get through this book. It is a one-time read. The language is simple, but yet the writing style is not very simple. It is complicated. However, this book is mind-blowing. When I was reading it in my bed, I just started yelling, what, because it blew my mind. Oh my god, there were certain twists that I did not see coming. There were 1 or 2 twists that I did see coming. That is probably because I read a lot of thrillers and I read a lot of dark books, but there were certain twists that I did not see coming, and I was like, so it is such an amazing one-time read. I only suggest it as a one-time read. It is the story of a woman who is dealing with agoraphobia, and it really dives into this entire agoraphobic people and how they live their life and their psychology and all those kind of things. The story and everything, it is mind-blowing. Why in the world am I sweating in winters? The next book is Hold Me While I Fix Myself by Fatima Ashraf. This is a poetry collection. I am not into poetry a lot, but trust me, this book has made some changes in me. Now I am at a point where I do want to explore the poetry genre. I have tried reading poetry books earlier. I have read 2 or 3 really amazing poetry books, but none of those books have actually been able to make me a poetry kind of a person who will read a lot of poetry. This is yummy, this is delicious, this is so heartbreaking yet so empowering. I do not know how Fatima did it. So Fatima is actually a bookstagrammer, and I talked, like, she's my friend on bookstagram on Instagram. She came out with this book and I was like, okay fine, I do want to, like, you know, support her and all those kind of things. So I bought this book, but when I read it I was like, wow. So if you are into poetry, you must read this book once. It makes you so hopeful. So hopeful. I love it. Last but not the least, I read Yes Please. I have talked a lot about this book in other videos, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but it was an amazing book. However, I do not recommend it as a must buy. If you really want to gift yourself something, if you really want to gift somebody else some book, then this is an amazing book. All these colorful pages and everything, it is amazing. It is super empowering, all good. However, it is slightly expensive, and there are many other books that you can read which are like very essential for you. So talking about my January TBR, I do not want to make a January TBR, honestly. I just don't want to make it, but I have given myself 6 books that I must read in January. I really want to be free in January. I really want to get back to my reading pace. So yeah. However, the first book that I do want to read, and I'm probably gonna read tonight and finish it, which is The Beauty of this author, is The Archer by Paulo Coelho. The only reason I got this book and I want to read it is a lot of you have been DMing me and commenting that you want the review of this book from me. Now honestly, I got the book and I would keep it and I would read it later, but this book is gorgeous on the inside. It is pretty cheap. I really hope that it is also very impactful, because if it is, it is going to become like one of my most favorite books ever by Paulo Coelho. Next, I want to read Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. I have been dying to read this book. I know for a fact that I'm gonna read it this month no matter what, because I'm waiting since so long to finish this book. So the font is very small, which is why I think it's gonna take me a lot of time, which is why I have not cluttered my January TBR. I really need to read this right now. I'm gonna give my time to it and I'm gonna read it. Next, we have After Dark by Murakami. I am reading this book because again I'm very intrigued, and also because it is very thin. I think I can read it and it will still give me space to read my other books. Next, we have Blood on the Sands by Sujata Sabneer. It is also the book that I am giving away for my 10k special giveaway. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. Next up, we have The Sleep Solution. I am reading this book right now. I'm not very happy with it yet. Like, it is not exactly what I thought it would be, but I've read very less of it, so I'm really hoping that when we go ahead it will help me more. Till now it is only talking about the kind of effects that sleep can have on you. I get it, like I do want to know it, but it is slightly boring, but it is just for me. However, the book is like really funny. I'll just give the final verdict later on. I don't want to give it right now. Last book, which again I am reading and I'm about to finish in January, is The Confession by Jessie Burton, and it is a super thick book, but I read Woman in the Window and then my brain was bush. Okay, like I'm telling you, it blew my mind. After that, I wanted something really simple and sweet and inspiring, like something like that. So this book is something like that, and so I picked it up. Also because it is so thick and big and I love the cover. It gives me such good vibes. I'm really enjoying reading this. I was not very inspired to make this video because I don't want to make any video that is in relation with 2020 right now, because I'm done with that year. I really want to make new content and I was also not inspired to make a TBR for January. However, I thought that this is something that really does help me, and I did want to like share my struggles with you. So we are done with this video. Now there are amazing videos coming up ahead which I had planned, which I wanted to post since like from 5th of January itself. On Saturday, you guys are gonna love me because I'm going to come up with a video with the more beginner friendly books. It is part 2 of another video that I made in 2020, which is 14 books for beginners. This is going to be 16 more books for beginners. I am so excited about it. Anyways, I'll see you guys very soon. Please do share, like, subscribe, bell button, all those great things. I love you guys so much. That is it. Bye.